Okay, we're speaking with a gentleman who just got out of domestic violence injunction court here in Pinellas County. Would you like to reintroduce yourself however you feel appropriate, sir, however you feel comfortable?
I won't give my name, but I'll speak about the case openly. The process is fairly easy. Once I got up there and I had a chance to read through the evidence and look at the claims that she was making, I made it clear to the judge, and apparently the judge agreed because he didn't issue a temporary or even a no contact order. And I feel like if people would literally just sit down and have conversations, you could save yourselves a boatload of time for being in this damn courtroom and wasting time. Because ultimately, that's what that was for me today, a waste of time. But I intend to push it out as requested. No contact order and an injunction were not issued today based on lack of evidence. She was essentially told, give you 45 days. If there's no contact within that 45 days, then there's no reason to have it in place.
But you want to have contact with her, don't you?
To get some closure, yeah, I would. But
Let's call it what it is. You still love her and you hope to get back with her. You don't want closure. You want to talk her into getting back with you, don't you? Tell the truth.
Ultimately, I think that in some aspects, she didn't want to do this today. Just based on the history and how I know her and what I know of her, she didn't want to do any of this today. She was pressured from family, she was pressured from friends, and the fact that I'm very well versed in looking into these things and know how to do research to know if something is sufficient evidence or not just saying he drove by my house or he dumped stuff out in front of my house or he drove by me when I was at the causeway. It's much more than that.
When's the last time the two of you had consensual sex?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So something happened between 3 weeks ago and now to where you were intimate together, that today you're in an injunction courtroom. I understand this is not your first injunction?
No,
this is not your first petition to an injunction?
Yeah, I had one. She was a former Largo police officer, so she utilized her power as a former law enforcement officer to gain a legal advantage and know how to write things out in court. Ultimately, that injunction was issued.
So the petition was granted. What
Yeah.
was it? Stalking? What was it?
I want to say it was
Dating
DVI.
violence, domestic violence?
I think it was DVI, domestic violence. But looking into that now, she has made several attempts to contact me from the previous relationship, to which I've denied because, and I won't contact her because there is the injunction in place. It was issued 15 years. Why it was issued
15 years?
15 years, and I don't understand because the state law in Tallahassee, on the books in Tallahassee, Florida, capital of our state, it says 1 year. Many years ago, criminal courts were issuing domestic violence injunctions, were issuing indefinites, which was putting a damper on people's careers. It was affecting them getting jobs, getting into college, getting homes, getting into community groups, because when you look at having something like that in place, it's going to be a major effect. For me, with this one, it would have affected me seeing my child. I'm not a violent person, but I'm certainly not going to step back and let somebody do this to me without me having my ducks in a row.
Okay, that's a rather intriguing, interesting statement you just made. I'm not a violent person, but
I'm also not going to let somebody get in my face and push me around, because what happens in this state, more so this county, it seems like you get backed into a corner, and then the second you try to get out of that corner per se, and you bump past that person, you're arrested for domestic violence when you were in fact the one that was cornered.
So what would it take to set you off and become physically violent with someone?
You would have to be in my face.
Physically or just legally, paperwork?
Physically in my face, but this one it come down to more just doing this just to create a ruckus for no good reason. Little does she know, coming into the whole allegations she has against her about taking lewd in the city's photos at a school.
Okay, tell us more about that.
She is a second grade teacher. who has taken lewd and lascivious photos. They were sent to me. They were obtained by a private investigator. I don't know how this private investigator got into my...
How do we know, or how does the private investigator know? How do you know she took the pictures?
They were clearly of her in her classroom. You can see that there's...
So she took kind of a selfie?
Selfies, and I think one was a selfie and one was not a selfie of her doing...
Was there any children involved, or just pictures of herself?
From what I know, there was no children involved.
So she's taking nude selfies in her classroom, but no kids were in there?
No kids were in there from what I can tell.
Okay.
But Pinellas County School Board, again, does nothing about this. I would encourage anyone...
So, question: if she called you today and said, "Hey, I was wrong, I still love you," would you drop? Would you forget about making a case about the pictures?
That would depend on what the school board and what the court say. If they say no, you're a witness now, then I'm a witness. And
So, if you guys are going out to dinner, you're intimate, you made up, you're still going to go testify against her?
The whole going out to dinner, being intimate, that wouldn't happen. And I say that simply because I know the situation and I know how pissed off and hot she is right now. She's very upset.
So it won't happen because she won't let it happen, not because you don't want to go out to dinner and be intimate with her.
She could call me right now and I wouldn't go out to dinner. I don't have her number.
So you do want to get back with her, or don't want to get back with her?
If it happened, it happened. I'll leave it at that. If it happened, it happened.
Which would you rather have it? Would you rather not get back with her, or would you rather get back with her?
Obviously, when you're in a relationship with somebody,
You still love her.
you
Tell the
build
truth.
something, you love them. You love them, and that's plain and simple. You love them. I mean, it's you don't just you're not just with somebody for 2 years and build an empire with them per se, and not have some sort of
During your relationship, was it a monogamous relationship, or did either of you stray outside sexually?
Neither one of us strayed
That you know
outside.
of?
We never. I know her well enough and know how to tell if someone was doing that. I've never done that myself. Don't have a desire to. It's not in my nature.
So are you back on the search for a sexual partner and a romantic partner now?
No.
Just in case someone, are you single now?
Yeah, we'll classify that. Yeah.
Just in case some attractive lady sees this and would like to reach out to you, would you like to give any phone number or email address?
She could post something on this video. We'll leave
Post
it
a
at
comment?
that.
Okay.
She could post a comment on this video, but don't be surprised if I don't respond, because knowing this person well enough, as time goes on, as the situation cools down, she'll want to reach back out. It's a matter of when, and I say that because we went through a spat about 1.5 years ago, and I didn't bother. I didn't call her 2 or 3 weeks. Boom, she's back home. It's a matter of
She's
when.
back home. You lived together.
No. She was back to calling me 1.5 years ago when we went through a similar dispute per se. There was no violence involved. There was no injunctions. There was no.
So this has been an on again, off again relationship for a couple of years.
We'll classify it as that, yeah.
Do you drink?
No.
She drink?
Occasionally at dinner, but that's it.
Okay, so alcohol didn't contribute to the arguments or anything. Okay, folks, stay tuned. I think we're going to do one more segment with this gentleman just on the process of a domestic injunction. What happened to him, each step inside the courtroom. So we're also going to ask him his advice he would give to anyone facing what he's going through, which is being the respondent on domestic injunction in Florida, specifically Pinellas County, Florida. So stay tuned, YouTube viewers. Thank you very much.